Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Good Show, episode 46. We're about to kick off our Starcraft 2 section, and to join us for that is Apollo. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hello.
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 You feeling all right? You feeling good? Chipper?
Actually, I'll be honest, really tired.
Oh, no.
Really tired.
Oh, no.
Voice is a little bit shitty, and I feel a little bit ill inside.
All right, no one
But I
cares.
made it.
But,
I made it.
Trans,
No one cares.
someone cares then.
James, it's not very nice.
He's in that mood tonight.
Could have just gone to bed.
We put your segment first. And you were excited. You said you want to talk about lots of things on the show.
Yeah, it's WCS and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
So,
I was just going to ask Trans, we got music that's apparently very soothing, and you spoke to somebody.
Could we just have it in the background very lightly?
Because you put Sean to
Could we?
sleep.
I did. I was nodding off a little bit. to that,
You should at
that
least
Twinkle
plug the
song.
guy that gave you the...
something for the overlay when I'm currently playing.
Okay.
But if anybody's interested, it's Tom Day. I'll put it in.
Tom Day.
Tom Day.
And
yeah.
he's given us the rights to play his music, so we're all legal.
It's really cool by check.
Apparently he's really cool and translates it.
So, Tom Day, and you can search that on SoundCloud, is that it? Yeah, so SoundCloud.
I'll link him.
There you go, Tom Day.
Trans, how come we haven't
I
had
look
any
after
polls during this show?
Why don't we have
Oh,
polls?
so you want polls?
Yeah, I like having polls.
Well, let's go ahead and kick the StarCraft section off with, obviously, the biggest thing that's happened in StarCraft recently. WCS. Season 1 is wrapped up. Korean Finals. Innovation wins it, crushes it, goes through. But Apollo actually was there live at the event. And as you said, man, you want to talk a little bit about it. So how about you?
Well, I was there. I know what the right answer to the questions are. So if you guys want to go first and take a shot, I'll go up after.
And then you'll come
What do you think of it, you guys? Because I was there. I'll give you the real perspective when you give your stream perspective.
My stream
What
perspective.
do you reckon?
Well,
Do you reckon?
from a European standpoint, okay.
yeah,
Horrible,
that's true.
horrible times. It was like impossible to watch. You had to stay up all night to watch it. I felt that it was extremely underhyped. That there was like no real desire to tune in and watch, just because like where was the storyline build up? Where was anything leading into this amazing sort of it's going to be the conclusion of the first season. I really want to watch. Does Innovation do it? Who is actually going to win it? All of this sort of shit I felt was lacking. I was like, oh yeah, it's WCS season finals today. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I should like tune into that. When is it happening? That sort of thing. Like I felt so disconnected, at least personally, from this finals.
So you
It's
didn't
just
watch
like,
it?
Ah.
All right.
No.
Yeah, I
No.
mean-
The best part was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna catch the VODs. Oh, they're behind a paywall.
They weren't
Oh.
before the last day.
No, before the last day, but at the very
first
beginning.
day, I think they were. Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of, for me, it was just like underwhelming, I think. I was kind of disappointed with the whole thing.
For me, I'm just more interested to see what Mike has, what you want to say, Mike, about it, because you actually watched it, and of course Sean was there, so
Yeah,
you
I
guys
mean,
can
I-
pretty much tell me.
I
at
pretty much
least.
stayed up till like 8 in the morning, so I usually like fell asleep during the last series, basically. There's a lot of different things. I felt the whole first day was just entirely the fact that they had 2 streams and Golem had 2 streams. It just like, it sidetracked everything. I just felt entirely distracted. Like the group stage wasn't, it was more like, what's OGN doing? What's Golem doing? It made it all very distracting because there were so many fucking funny things. There's like, it was Caldor and Wolf at the normal
At the top,
Tastosis
and then
desk, and then in the
Artosis
background
in
you
the
see
background.
Dan
Yeah,
behind
I saw
them.
the picture,
And then there were some things I was like tweeting to Dan saying like, give the peace sign, blow a kiss, and you walk
Did he do
by.
any?
He did the peace sign once. I don't think he probably did blow a kiss at one point, and I mean, fuck, he solo cast for like 2 GSL groups, so that's like 10 to 14 hours, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What else though? I mean, it was just so long that I feel like there's kind of a lot to say. I mean, I feel like the whole way it was broadcast was like, I would have liked to see the group stage throughout the week, like Monday to Thursday, and then do the rest on the weekend. It would have been much easier to digest. I think more hype going into it, because this felt like, it fell to the same problems back when MLG used to have their massive 232 open bracket and then have their 20 whatever seeded players. Like, there's all these games going on at once. It's hard to follow. And then at the end you have some players. And then, I mean, just in general, it felt awkward watching it because it was like, all right, we've got 16 players that are, on paper, in my opinion, weaker than the top 16 in WCS Korea. And you don't have the diversity of a lot of foreigners and a lot of foreigners coming in to like make it interesting. Because if you have that, Then it's like, all right, the group stage is like, can any foreigner watch an or make an upset, right? And then after that, it's like, okay, all the foreigners lost. Now we have really good games. And this was kind of like, all right, we're just seeing the tier 2 Koreans lose, and then we have really good games. So it didn't have like that build up and kind of feel to it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that was back to my point before. Was basically like the WCS NA. It should be American, Canadian, anybody that can't, who can enter outside of the other regions. For example, Europe should be European, CIS, South African as well, and then Korea is basically Korea, and anybody who can't enter Korea, like Australia, just go to the NA as well. And I would have really enjoyed watching that. Because it would have been like a really cool little tournament where you got like, okay, I've definitely got some Europeans, definitely got some Americans in here. Let's see how they do. And then be like, oh shit, didn't do so well this time round. They got stomped, for example, if we could say that. And then at least next season finals, I'd be like, right, let's see if they've caught up. Let's see if they've made progress. And then each time you get that kind of storyline. Now it's kind of like you take that storyline and you put it into the regional section, but it's not really done well enough just because of who's playing where. So I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Otherwise, I thought the secondary lounge stream was like a lot of fun. Because I don't always want to hear this hyped up whatever casting. So just seeing people kind of it was basically you guys fucked around on that stream pretty much. And so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, to see the players in there. The one criticism I had with that is because, like they basically synced it up with the mainstream. So it's like the mainstream goes on break, that stream goes on break. Whereas like the lounge stream should be going on break, during game 2 or something. And then you've got the lounge stream to watch between the games when the primary stream is on downtime. So, but I thought it was cool. It gave, good, the good couch kind of vibe. Like same, it's a pretty basic idea, right? Just talk to people at the event, give that little kind of backstage feel, whatever. So
I think someone did something like that before, like
Yeah.
that kind of couch. Like what you're suggesting.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Anything else?
I mentioned it. Otherwise,
Sorry, I was watching Trance move the camera. Did you knock the camera?
I must have moved it with my chair. I was trying to shuttle forward a little bit. Must have moved it.
But I agree with you. They should have had that between the games. And
yeah,
would
it
have
was just
made
all
more
they had to
sense
do
for
was
entertainment
stagger
purposes.
it, right? They did a lot of cool stuff with that, though, cutting into the first-person feeds too and whatnot. So that was good. Overall, the production was good. The OGN just puts on a fucking crazy show with what's his face doing though? What's his name? The Korean guy introing the
His
players.
nickname's the Overlord. I don't know his real name.
Yeah, so he's crazy
He's
good,
old
and then
school.
the
Very old
lights
school.
at that the venue, but it just felt like it wasn't just that format. I don't like that, having the weekend tournament for that, because it's like you have the
Yeah.
build up where, especially with with Korea or with Korean WCS, it's like you have so much time for the finals and that builds the hype up. But this, it's just like you can't hype it. And even with WCS outside, it's like, all right, we have the round of 32 played online, then it builds up to the round of 16, which is also spread out, and then you have the round of 8, which is a bit tight, but also kind of spread out. So
think-
when you push it all together, it
Not so much OGN's fault. From what I heard from them, it's that they were pushed into a small time frame. They wanted to stretch it out. They wanted to make it longer.
Yeah.
But if you do that, it costs double, triple.
Which,
Production, teams, casters,
the most expensive part, though, is really just the last day at the big venue, right? So, I don't know. No
even
doubt,
before
obviously,
that, it's
it's gonna.
expensive. Of course
yeah.
it's expensive.
I know, but it's like venue costs are usually like one of the biggest drivers. So,
Yes.
and obviously, yeah,
But they're
you're going to
have
go
that
up
last day
double.
in the same place. They're not going to have that anywhere else.
Yeah,
You
of
just have
course.
their own stadium.
Well, to be fair, they
4
could
days.
have gotten a lot smaller of a venue as well, right? So there's that. Otherwise, the one other thing that I think we definitely need to talk about with the stream was the wardrobe choice, and I felt like it was a fucking home run. I thought Day 9's blazer was a little bit small, but I think you gave them your
I
sizing
nailed it.
properly. So
Yeah, actually,
well, I'm very Korean sized.
me and Mike actually took your picture and we posted it on
We did.
men's fashion advice, and we've got some feedback for you. Do you want it?
Absolutely.
No, we didn't actually do that.
Oh,
yeah.
But
Wait, did you bring? You didn't bring me the
Get the
acorn,
hooks
did you?
on. No, I forgot.
Yeah, fuck.
it would have
I
been
think
really
it would've
funny. Be like, hey guys, what do you think of my
What colour-
outfit
well,
with me and my friend?
What was my type? Was it a yellow?
Yellow, yeah.
Yeah.
with blue,
Blue
flowers.
flowers.
There was this one time when
good. It's good combo.
when I was trying to describe the tie to everyone because I could see on the preview that it may not have been properly visible the flowers. So I was like, all right, you cameraman. He's like, who? I was like, zoom in. And he looked at my tie, and he was kind of a funny guy too because he went past the tie belt line and hovered for a few seconds. I had my hand there. I was like, all right, you don't need to go that far, but no, I had a lot of fun. I think OGN.
Did you have to keep the wardrobe? Just random question.
No,
Did you
no,
have
no,
to
it's
keep
their
it?
wardrobe.
No, it's their wardrobe.
I didn't, for the first time ever at any tournament, I didn't have to bring my own clothes. All there ready for
So
me.
you flew there naked?
I flew there naked
You were like,
with like a rubber duck ring around my waist.
yeah, you're like, it's okay, security. Clothes are provided.
Clothes are provided at the venue. That's the first time I've ever had that. Which I thought it was pretty cool, actually. Because I think that me and Day9 and Don Monte Cristo looking the same was cool, rather than us just bring our own wear. And
Yeah,
maybe it
I
looks
mean,
good, maybe it doesn't.
Well, I can tell you now, you look a lot better there wearing a shirt than you did OGN.
I liked my yellow tie with blue flowers, and I loved my white trousers even more.
Hell, if you spill anything
My granddad
now.
probably thought it was a great little outfit. He'd wear that.
Who?
My granddad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
the
would've
other
liked
thing
it.
I
He's
didn't
got
mention was
swag.
that Chobra did a fantastic job. Like when I saw his name on the BattleNet page, I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy, right?
Yeah.
But he nailed it. He did a good job. I think he took good care of you guys, maybe you in particular.
That was the translator, right?
Yeah.
The translator.
yeah.
Yeah, he seemed really good.
He was actually one of the best. So me and Day9 have very large personalities, right? So you're in the middle of us, you're probably gonna get drowned out. But he actually did a really, really good job to keep up with us. It was funny back and forth.
Can I just get a camera on me in a second? Just for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Personalities.
Yeah, really large
Continue.
personality. Well,
Apollo's
what would you replace
explosive.
that word with then? We have large Twitter followers. I don't know. What would you say?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, just okay. Anyway, back to the main point of this, James, is that Chobra did.
He's saying you're a giant narcissist, basically.
Chobra did one of the best jobs I've seen from any host in a long time in any different game.
Better than Clutch?
Rivals yourself, James.
Who did?
Chobra.
Oh, what did he do?
Well, I mean, what he
Really
was,
good
it was
job.
also, I mean, it wasn't like a traditional host kind of thing, right? You're not
Yeah.
talking to a crowd. You're not, so I mean, like he just kind of filled the role perfectly, really.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Yeah, I think he did really well, and he kind of bridged the gap, which not too many people have done ever in StarCraft. It's Brood War as well, which is make the connection between the Kesper players' personalities and who they are, and translate it over to what we can see from a lot of the foreign fans. I mean, Juani does translation, and Minsik does translations from SK Gaming, but they're not on the same level as this guy. He was very funny. He made them enjoy themselves as well. Yeah, he did a really, really good job.
So we've had Mike's, we gave Mike his opportunity to nitpick a little bit. Would you have changed anything from how the event actually unfolded?
I think OGN themselves are just a little bit inexperienced when it comes to working with English people. more
Very
so.
much.
I don't think they've ever, if I'm not mistaken, ever done that before. So stuff like in-ear production, we didn't have any. We just kind of went with the flow and what we saw in front of us and try to feed off what the Korean casters were doing next to us. Is we can kind of tell when they're about to finish up, so we timed what we were going to do, what they were going to do. Intros the same. But overall, I actually liked the production to take the lead over casters leading the production, if that makes sense. Instead of us going, all right, let's take a look at the prize money distribution, and then it pops up, rather than what was happening, it popped up, and then we talk about it. I think it keeps the flow of the show going really well. So I think OGN, I liked OGN controlling things. Their player shots were good. Their player
The way
views
they
were
fade
good.
in one player while the other player's on, like it's such a
Production
simple
level is
technique,
just-
but no one else does it.
And the biggest thing about OGN compared to any other organization, DreamHack, ESL, NASL, MLG, all of them, is the production know the game. Whether it be they play it, they only work on it. I know they do other stuff as well, but they know the game. So
Don't
they're
you
able.
work for the DreamHack production team, kind of, Mike? As a
He's talking about
observer?
the Sand guy. Actually, well, speaking of observers, the Observer was probably
We'll
the
get onto that
weakest
in a minute.
part of the show.
But the actual guy that calls the shots, when to go to player shots, when to go first person
Mm-hmm.
view, this is because they've been doing it for so long in Brood War and so on. So it was very good to work with a team that knows the game rather than just employees that do all games and try to do StarCraft well. OGN just do it well because they know the game. So it was kind of a pleasure to work with that. The Observer, as you say, the Korean Observer was fine. There was points which I think people saw me on camera and I was like looking back at the big screen because that
Yeah.
was the Korean Observer because he was better, so I wanted to watch what he was showing and then try to translate it to what I was saying. But they had a new one trying to do it. Well, wasn't that good.
Yeah, no,
You can
I
judge.
mean, it was quite hard to watch sometimes. Like, and it's fine too because I know from working with Paula, like Paula never throws anyone under the bus. So it's like if he's missing something, he'll kind of like try and subtly say something like, "Oh, and looks like there's a little bit of harassment at the natural too." But looking right here, this is going on. But then with day 9, sometimes you'd be like, the natural, and he just like yell it 4 times, and so it's kind of funny and
Subtlety was
yeah.
lacking.
But I mean, it's the kind of thing where too, I think when an observer knows what the casters are saying, it's always just flows a little bit better. Even if they take the lead or give the lead to the casters, either way, when you just, speak the same language, it's a lot easier. So
Long days, long travel, short period in the middle. Difficult to work under those conditions. I don't think anybody there was in their prime. But overall, I think the event was pretty good. If the time zone had been different and changed, especially considering the 3 non-Koreans were from Europe and not America, which didn't make that much sense. And I'm pretty much vouch that the European scene is much larger than the American one. So if you're going to cater toward an audience over one of another, then it should be the European one and then the American one, because there's much more viewers in Europe than there is America.
And there were European
Starcraft.
players as well.
3 European players too.
So apparently there was some controversy on the GOM stream regarding casters not being paid their usual rates.
So what this was, Caldor pretty much summed it up already, is that GOM didn't have budget to pay for 4 casters, which they needed. They only had budget to pay for 2, but they had 2 streams. So originally, at the very start of things, I think it was Wolf or Caldor, I'm not sure which one it was, was going to solo cast, and Dan was going to solo cast. But Wolf and Caldor said, that's pretty shitty that you're going to solo cast, where we work better together, and we not as good solo casting, so let's just work together, and I'll take the hit and not get paid, or we'll split the money and whatever.
I mean,
and Dan and Nick didn't want to do that.
Yeah, so GOM didn't have the budgets. I mean, that's interesting. So, like, how much do Caldor and Wolf charge a day to cast?
Absolutely no idea.
No idea. Okay.
I mean,
'cause
I just think
I heard.
I think it's a fucking joke if like GOM doesn't have budget to put 2 casters on each stream. Like, I think don't fucking stream. Like, okay, this is the WCS Grand Slam. This is the biggest event, one of the 3 biggest events of the year, one of the 3 most important events of the year, and you're bringing in your guys to solo cast it. Like,
But they're also not the main.
no, okay, but then why are you forcing yourselves in there? Like, why do it like that? Like, I think if you're not going to do it right, and like you said, they're not the main thing. So I feel like if they're going to do that, then they have to be doing other special things to compensate for the fact the players aren't there, there's no audience there, and whatnot, and do something
I mean,
bigger.
I didn't think it would, like,
not cheap out on it, because they basically cheaped out on it. It's like
I mean,
we
it
didn't have
could
the budget for it. You can put your budget however you want. You can just do one stream. You can be like, fuck these other 2 groups, rather do these groups. And
I mean, surely they can't be that much Caldor and Wolf. I mean, I would value them on camera at the kind of standard they are, maybe like $200 a piece. But I actually heard that they get $700 each per day for casting, which is ridiculous. So, even if they did just split that and go $350 each, that's about right for their kind of tier of commentary. So I'm kind of surprised that, maybe they're too expensive. Maybe it's not GOM TV's fault if they're charging $700 a day.
I mean, they
per day
only
casting at GOM TV. And
I mean,
probably
they can
work
only
out.
get what GOM will pay them.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh, you charge too much. Well, then don't pay it. Like, I mean,
each
right?
as well.
So-
Could be like,
I don't know.
It's good for, either way.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on then to some more news here in StarCraft 2. So, still touching on the Korean scene, WCS KR with the OGN Star League has been announced. GOM TV, speaking of GOM TV, are going to actually host the Challenger League.
All right, so basically what this is, So if you just look at Season 1 WCS, it was run by GOM, and GOM had all the players and whatnot, and then OGN had the finals, season finals. Now it's OGN's turn to take control. So OGN now have the players, they have the production, they have everything for Season 2. There's no grand finals in Korea, so they have everything. GOM doesn't have anything, only a restream. So what you saw at GOM this weekend, if you tuned in to watch Nikodan or Wolf and Caldor,
Is what
it will
you're
be the
gonna get.
same. You won't have players, you'll have casters, game, overlay screen, we'll be right back, casters game, overlay screen, compared to OGN, which will have everything, the whole works. But the thing that OGN don't have, and I don't know if they don't want to have it or whatever, is Challenger League. That Wolf and Caldor keep their Code A, keep their Challenger League like normal.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see OSL's take on it. Pretty much, if they're gonna. I mean, we spent this whole season, and the biggest discussion point I think was kind of like, I don't really feel like WCS. We're here. Tastos is telling us about Codas, yada yada yada. So I mean, I think if OGN wants to make a good impression, they're really gonna call it like the WCS Auction All Kill OSL, and that's what they're gonna call it. So it will be interesting to see how it looks. It's gonna be. I mean, I think Wolf and Calder are going to be happy that, we still get our audience, we still get our players in the studio, we still get all that. And Tastos are going to have to kind of get used to doing that, the whole remote casting thing, which is always a little bit
It's pretty shitty.
weird,
it's pretty
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Yeah, I
I'd
can
say,
only imagine Artosis just sitting there in front of an empty.
Well,
studio.
that's basically what they're
It's
going to
just
be.
like,
I mean, I suppose some fans, foreign fans, might come.
That's the
to
thing.
see
It's still
Nick and
open.
Dan.
We're not saying it's like they've closed the doors and you
Yeah,
can't get in.
like,
Like,
but
you can still come and
if
watch.
foreign
right?
fans wanted to come and watch, then they would have this past weekend instead of coming. Maybe because Day 9 was there or whatever, they actually went to the OGN instead. But still, it's going to be a pretty bad broadcast for GOM. But at the same time, you're still going to have Tastosis, who are obviously more popular than Dora Monte Cristo. So you've got, game production players, Dora Monte Cristo, versus none of that and Tastosis.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting kind of experiment in terms of how much pull do Tastos actually have. What kind of viewer numbers are they going to get?
But I've been harping on this for a long time, is that I think OGN may have done a better job than GOM in the season finals, because I think they embraced WCS a lot more, just like ESL have done with the WCS Premier League, and likewise.
Well, I mean, of
MLG
course,
have done.
ESL and MLG are going to do that because it's an entirely new product. You're not taking something that exists and rebranding it. So.
But OGN did it really well, and like Mike said, if they do that again for this season and hit season 2 hard and really bringing in WCS, and if imagine this, if OGN feels very much so like the WCS EU but in Korea, and all of them kind of feel united across all three, then it will be weird when it goes back to GOM again
Exactly.
in season 3,
I mean,
because they'll be like Code A, Code S again, when it's meant to be WCS.
It's going to just be really challenging for Doha and Monte Cristo because they spend so much time casting League. And I mean, I'm the kind of person who believes if you want to be fucking really good at casting StarCraft, you can't be casting or playing
Anything
a different
else.
game. Like, you got to put fucking 100% into StarCraft. And if you want to link up to WCSs, like make comparisons to how Terran is doing in Europe and whatnot, like if you're casting League of Legends 4 times a day, like you're gonna have a hard time.
They will have a hard time. I don't think it's going to be quite stressful for Dora and Monte Cristo. Despite having the goodies, it's still going to be hard. It's great when you have the goodies, but it's terrible that you can't put in the effort to really do well with what you've got presented. And if they got to cast 5-6 days a week across 2 games, that's rough for sure. They have been doing it all season 1, so.
No, absolutely, and especially with the other point that Mike raised was the fact that they will be going up against Tastosis. So they're going to constantly have that reminder of, we're still against like the seen as the top casters in the scene.
In season 1, it was pretty much when GOM had everything. The viewer difference was 500 for OGN, pretty much, or less,
and 25k or above,
25k plus for GOM. I think those numbers will probably equalize for season 2.
Yeah, I
Because
feel
think
the same.
production and everything will, and the players being at OGN and the crowd and whatnot will bring it equal, but still Tastos.
That's exactly it. We're going to see what kind of draw as well that the players have, because it's really just going to be like they're going to be the massive thing that's coming in. But okay, we're going to go ahead and keep moving on here. We'll go ahead and get into our next topic then. So the new ladder season has begun. Red City and Coral Sky Island have been added, and New Cork has been updated. But the big thing that's been going on in Reddit apparently is that the size of Master League has been reduced.
Did it get
I think
reduced?
apparently there's some
Yeah,
debate.
there's a
I
lot
was
of people
paging
who are
through
like,
it.
I was in Masters,
Exactly.
now I'm in Diamond.
This is the thing. It's
like,
that basically Blizzard have decided to make it a bit more tight to get into, or they've rearranged that. Is it the algorithm that judges where you are placed in which
I
league you're
mean,
placed?
Okay.
And that with the reset, it was just like, okay, well, a lot of people got bumped up to Masters. They're new to Masters. We're just going to drop them back up to down to Diamond again and let them qualify back up to that league. Is that the?
all right.
This is
What's
what I
going on?
really think about the Battle.net ladder system. Is that for me? I don't know if you ever played Brood War at all. Ever?
Yes.
You play IC Cup.
Yes.
You played IC Cup, so you know what it means to get promoted from a different level in IC Cup.
No, because I played 5 games and I was like, I just get raped every single time.
I
That's
know
my
you
IC
guys-
Cup
You
experience.
guys didn't play. And
No,
IC
but
Cup,
yeah.
I wasn't even
Yeah.
that good. I was like C minus. But
Yeah.
when I got promoted to C minus, and I wasn't even in it for very long, it was the best feeling in the world. And this thing goes up to A plus and then Olympic level or
Right.
whatever it is, right? So it's like D minus, D, D plus, C minus, C plus, all the way up. And when you got promoted in IC Cup back in the day, you ran around the house, you went crazy because it's really, really big to get promoted to a different level. And you were proud of the level you're at. In StarCraft 2, I don't think it's the same thing. It's very easy to get into Master League. It's very easy to get to Diamond League and above. And I don't think the benefit and the happy feeling that you had back in the day when you got promoted is still the same. Even in Grandmaster League, it's too easy. Top 200? No, I think it should be, well, if not smaller, if it stays 200 or 100, then there should be one above it, which is Olympic level, which is 10 players. Or 15 or 5.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I think
no
having breaking
there's
it
no
up more,
incentive
yeah.
to play ladder around it. It's too easy across all the scale. I feel that it needs to warrant a bigger success. I mean, maybe there's a lot of players being like, but I was really happy when I got a gold league.
I mean, I think there are some
But
players
it's
who
so
are
easy.
further down at. I think it's more a problem for like Master League because like there are players who are in silver and then make it up to gold, and that is huge for them. And then
Yeah.
then they make it up to platinum, and it's huge for them. But Masters, it's like I feel like the skill range in Masters, like when you play someone top Masters and then you play someone very low
Low to
Masters,
mid, yeah.
it is like basically the difference between saying playing someone in plat and playing someone in bronze.
well,
So-
maybe then the bronze to diamond level could stay the
yeah, exactly.
same
That's what
then.
I'm saying.
But then above that should be much different, like different tiers of Master League
Yeah.
or whatever. Instead of, I mean, what's the difference between rank 24 and 12 in Master? There's no difference. But like, there's a massive difference between C minus, C, and C plus. Even though it's all C, there's a massive, massive difference between every single level. And I think that that's probably how the ladder should have been done around that. And I still think there should be an Olympic thing at the top. Something that these Grandmaster League players can fight for. Because at the end of the season, you get reset and you go again.
Yeah.
What's it matter?
I played in a league called...
Wait, you used to design tournament systems and
I-
games and ladders, right,
I
James?
played in a league called Starlance for Met Commander back when I was like really young. And at the end of every season, only 5 people from the ladder were awarded with like a special title. And if you got one of those, you only held it for the next season to show that you had it. The last season, you were top 5 of the ladder.
So you
And-
have to keep working and working to
yeah, if
hold
you
on
want
to that title.
if you
for the
want to hold
next
on
one.
to it, yeah, and it was really good. And when I got it, I think I only got it like once or twice, but it was like a really cool feeling because you were like, fuck yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're like, whenever someone sees your tag, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like this guy was top 5, and at the end of the season, so it was pretty cool. I know what you mean. I can understand how
Do you remember
the
having-
psychology kind of
It's
works.
even funny because back in the IC Cup days, when you told someone, even if you try to lie and push your level up by just a minus or plus, like I actually got C minus 1 level, but if I told people I was C or C plus, like, get out of here. No, but in Master League, like, yeah, I was ranked 70, and then one season I was like ranked 20. There's like no difference at all. There needs to be something bigger than what it is.
Do you think? We can go ahead and keep moving. But one last thing is that you can't lose points anymore in the ladder either?
You can't be demoted within a season.
Is that it? You can't be demoted. You can no longer be demoted. So this kind of adds to this whole thing where it's devaluing how important an actual league is as an
Because
indicator
I
of skill.
think, especially because the player size at the lower level is much larger, then I think it's okay, as Mike said, to have probably the same as it is, because these guys need some kind of... It needs to be a little bit easier for these guys right at the bottom. But when it comes to Masters above, definitely something needs to change. It can't be... For a successful ladder system, I don't think that... What? Don't you?
This is what they do, man. This is what they do. All right, we're gonna keep.
Can
moving.
we move on? Sal?
Yeah, we're gonna
Jesus
keep moving.
Christ.
So,
Yes, exactly.
just
How many
some,
times does a Paul have to say the same thing before we can move on?
That's fine. All right, so.
All right, Mike. Chill out,
Continue
little
moving.
guy.
MLG Anaheim casters have been revealed. Minor topic that we have here, as the Twitter, MLG Twitter here. Spring Championship Hots casters, DJ Wheat, Day9 TV, Total Biscuit, Axel Toss, and Axlav are going to be their casters. So,
Thoughts?
thoughts on that? I think it's.
I asked you first.
I think it's fantastic. It's great. I'm glad to see that Axel Toss and Axlav are right up there with Wheat, Day9, and
I
Total
think
Biscuit.
it's
Not a lot
weird.
of not a lot of.
I asked.
I suppose the big analytical names.
People who know about the game. Yeah,
Exactly.
we got.
Okay, I was trying to put it in a different way, but
we
okay,
got
whatever.
We got Axel.
So, Mike, go ahead. What do you think? Let's
Well,
get your thoughts on the game.
I don't know. MLG has constantly kind of done this thing where they stray away from trying to bring in the more analytical guys. What's kind of weird to me is they like completely axed like the hosting or interviewing position. So.
Well, they have two axes now. Okay.
Oh
Alright,
boy,
go ahead, go
Summer's on fire today.
dear
But yeah, I mean, last event, I mean, everyone obviously knows Clutch from MLG, who is obviously doesn't work with MLG whatsoever anymore, it seems. But then-
MLG that doesn't work.
well, that's where Clutch, got his name. But then they brought in Anna, and I guess I don't know. They were like, "Fuck that!" I guess she's not back. Maybe she's a package deal with In Control. But
I think that was better than the double X thing.
well, why is that funny?
Why is that funny? If you wanted to make a job, when he said, and they thought, fuck that, you could have said, well, at least that's what In Control did. You know what I mean?
And that topped
Like-
all of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Think about it on the fly. That
God,
wasn't, he was
Dominic.
just
But-
talking. He wasn't making sense.
Anyway, I felt like they would benefit a lot from having someone who's kind of more specialized to kind of talking to players and so forth. But it's MLG.
Yeah, it's MLG.
So they'll do what they want. That's how they do it.
Was it announced that there'd be just a single stream?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
announced. So,
But they do community streams.
Yeah, this is
They
gonna be their first time doing the off-site community stream. So it looks like NASL. It's too bad because NASL, I think NASL's not gonna be doing any DreamHack coverage, which kind of surprised me. The Dream Team is dead, guys.
But they're doing MLG.
So, where would you put the polls?
but is it because they're busy with water tanks and stuff? Probably.
Well, yeah, but if they can find time, the thing is, I've been following the WGL NA very closely, guys.
Oh, really?
And let me tell you that the qualifier concluded, I believe it was June 9th. So I don't know why they're not going to help us cover some DreamHack. So when we're 1 hour
You
late,
said
no one
you're disappointed,
complains.
man. You didn't say you're disappointed. Okay.
But yeah, I think,
Paul, do you have any comments for the
Mr.
casters?
Bitter was tweeting a ton about it, and Adam Appsell was too. So I think they'll help cover it. So it'll be interesting to see who they pick, how many streams they have, how well that's organized. Because it's Staijo, the DreamHack admin. He does like this fucking amazing job of getting like 18 different language streams all into the right games and so forth. So yeah.
All right,
Staijo
so-
would be the DreamHack admin, just to clear that up. But go ahead, Apollo.
So casters for MLG. I was surprised that Total Biscuit was a fifth.
I thought they'd have two set pairs.
I thought they'd had two pets. I expected Axel Tass and Axelav because they're MLG employees, of course. And then I expected, MLG, who they always bring in, DJ Wheat and Day 9. Husky did tweet out that he what did he say? He got retracted?
Well, he said, I'm no longer needed at MLG.
But I think they'd asked him at the start of the year to be a caster for
Well, I
majority
think
of
when
events.
they talked to people
And
at
then
the start
I
of
think
the year.
he's told his
yeah.
fans that he was going to be going to the majority of events Husky.
I don't think I don't know if he said that they'd be at all of them. He does always say, I'm always at Anaheim because it's in my back door, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. That's so.
So I was surprised at the fifth caster. I think Total Biscuit being there is never a bad thing, but this time I don't see it being a good thing. Is he going to rotate in now? Is he going to cast with DJ Wheat, Day 9? Is he going to jump in the middle of
They
Axel
should have
Toss
just
and
paired him with In
Axelav?
Control, man. So they should have done
So I was a
In
bit...
Control on TV all weekend long.
The original four I expected. Total Biscuit I didn't expect when it comes down to the casters.
I mean, TB just seems to have a very clear. I don't want to say he's in bed with MLG, but he's got a tight relationship with them. He works closely, I think, with Sony Online Entertainment, with all like the PlanetSide sponsors his
too,
team.
etc.,
PlanetSide is shoveling money at MLG, so I wasn't too surprised to see Total Biscuit. It was kind of like an odd thing. But I mean, they're not going to get rid of Day 9, and I think DJ they're quite loyal to as well. So
All right, we're going to move on to a quick balance topic that we have here. Quick, I don't know, it's going to depend on Apollo, really, because I want to just get your opinion on Hellbat drops, because David
We
Kim...
have a poll.
Pardon me?
We're going to do a poll.
Maybe?
Trans,
No?
common trans. Where's your
That's-
passion? If this was a Dota balance question, there'd be a poll.
Okay, what's the question? Give me a question.
All right.
All right,
All
Hellbat
Hellbats
drops,
OP.
yay or nay? We're going to put it like that, or balanced or imbalanced. But we have a post here that was made by David Kim in the forums. As they're saying that we're looking into it. Obviously, we'd like to see how they turn out in the coming weeks. But initially, we're thinking they're too easy to execute, especially in TVT. Not a lot of risk to doing them when you don't lose the medevac. Might be too early before defenses can be ready. So, Paula, do you agree with these points that he's made?
All three races, including Terran themselves, who have the Hellbats, have adjusted their strategies over the last month to this single unit and strategy of opening with Hellbats. Protoss players are forced into almost cannons now in the early stage. They get a single cannon and the rest of their army on another base. Zerg players are opening up with more queens, spores, and spines in their naturals and main. Almost every game, just because of the threat of the Hellbat can come in. And likewise, Terran players are having to go Hellbat themselves because they can't actually do anything about it.
Right.
James, you wanted to say something?
I was looking at the poll, but yeah, it's okay.
Hell what?
That was.
Yeah. I thought like, maybe you'd be like the underpowered, but that wasn't even an option.
no, that's not an option.
Fine is like, yeah, they're okay. Yeah.
So Hellbats are, it's not just the drops either. So, I mean, this is categorized as drops, but it's not just drops. It's actually, there are 100 minerals. They have, God knows, is it 120 hit points? I think it's 120. They take a lot of damage. They're very, very cost efficient. They destroy zealots in seconds. So the change that David Kim suggested was to lower the damage, the base damage it has, but then
Right.
increase it with a pre-igniter upgrade, increase the damage back to what it
Right,
should
the
be.
Infernal Pre-Igniter, right.
But out of all things in StarCraft at the moment, whether David Kim's talking about Warp Prisms changes or anything like that, this is probably the biggest thing as we can see
I
in
mean,
most games.
TVT and Wings of Liberty, you had 10 or more valid openings. Like, you could do any number of things. And it seems like now the only way to open in that matchup is with some kind of Hellbat drop, whether it be like gas first if you want to be super fast, or just regular time gas, or 15 gas. And just no matter what, that's how the matchup is. And that's just fundamentally broken. So, I mean, I don't think anyone really disagrees that it changes in kind of
Okay,
an order.
well, here's a question for people
I mean-
who may not know StarCraft, is that, let's say that an aggressive strategy is viable for your opponent to use, and you know that, and you defend it, but you still can't defend it. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah.
And you can't defend it.
It's just
And
like,
it's not
yeah.
just the first one, it's the second one, it's the third one, it's the fourth one.
Yeah.
If any of them get in,
There's no trade-off,
Yeah, the
basically.
game's
There's
over.
no
You lose,
disadvantage
you
to
lose.
doing this kind of build. So, I mean, I
I just probably play Water Tank, so it got to
I
that.
I like the idea of rolling in some kind of damage boost or attack rate boost or whatever to the pre-igniter upgrade, and then removing the transformation thing, because the transformation
Is not
upgrade
used.
is not used, and it makes the unit boring. It's like, okay, he's making Hellbats or he's making Hellions. It's like, it might as well not be there. It's just not used. So it's cool to have that flexibility thing. So I think that's a pretty good change. I mean, I don't know, numbers-wise, I haven't looked at it that much, because the thing is, you have to change it quite dramatically to avoid...
what did you all about, James?
What, making him weaker, or making
Um,
them so weak
Bunny.
and not
You
useful?
remember Bunny
Yeah.
from Warcraft 3? She's
Castle.
rejoined Blizzard.
No, she's been at Blizzard
been
for a
at
long
Blizzard.
time.
She says it after 7 years.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, the tweet that I saw
What
today
did
was
she
like,
say?
I'm
She's
excited
joined the
to
official...
announce I've officially joined Blizzard esports team after 7 years.
I
I'm
think
back
she
with
was,
all started for me.
before that, a producer,
Yeah.
and now he's supposed to...
I mean, she was at CBIT last year at the HOTS launch. So, I mean, I guess maybe that's because it was HOTS launch over esports. But, I mean, she's, I think, kind of been somewhat involved. And
This
so,
was this year, but
I mean, I think it's good getting someone with that much history more hands dirty into esports with Blizzard. So, I think that's some good news. Congratulations, Kim.
Congratulations, Kim.
Do you know her quite well, do you?
I've been seeing her at a couple of events, yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you went like that.
Internet Stream Masters and HOTS launches. No, did I see her before that? China, BWC as well.
I spent BWC in my
Any-
hotel
Yeah.
room on the
Curled up.
bathroom floor.
Any
Wait,
good?
was she BWC?
I don't know. I
No,
spent BWC in the bathroom on my hotel floor.
Yeah, that's the first time I met her at BWC.
All right. Well, we're going to keep moving on now. So, actually, some topics that James can weigh in on if he so desires. But Demaga has actually been sponsored, and this is a personal sponsorship. Pardon me, Trent?
We'll do all of them, but yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do all of them. But Demaga has been sponsored by Railcat.
Brilliant.
So
Well done, him. That's a German organization. They make mice, keyboards, and stuff. I think they're German.
I think they're German because they were always the primary sponsor of MTW, his former team. So now he's kind of back with them.
I got a feeling they're German fans. Go on, find out for us.
I believe this was a deal actually orchestrated by the CSN, who's kind of acting as a player and also
right.
talent agency these days. So that's cool.
Now, the interesting point with this, though, I thought, is that he took this offer because it offered him more money and flexibility than any team offer that he was getting. So a personal sponsorship from an actual peripheral manufacturer was a better deal for him than actual representation from a team.
Yeah, I
That's-
put out a tweet saying like
This
teams
is
have
something,
to
this
step.
is something that we've talked about quite a bit in the past.
I put out a tweet saying like teams have to step up what they're doing, or they're going to continue losing like the biggest name players to these kinds of deals. And I don't know. I got a lot of kind of I can't remember anyone in particular really, but just a lot of kind of team management people are kind of like blah 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 blah. So I think
blah,
Demog
blah,
was
blah,
asking for much more money than the typical foreign Zerg would get, and foreign Zergs are kind of like. I think if Demaga played Terran or Protoss, he'd get the money he wanted easier because there's just a fucking million foreign Zergs that are reasonably good at the game. So, yeah, it's good he's finally got a team.
Yeah, but also to mention, with WCS now existing, the actual tournament structure, it makes it a lot easier for players to get personal sponsorships because your career is, I'm doing WCS, how am I doing? Am I invited? Am I getting my flights paid for? Or, do I get to go? And then it's like, outside of that, it's like, oh, I go to this DreamHack, I go to this event, I go here. So it's actually, WCS has made it more viable for players to pick up personal sponsors, and also it makes more sense because if you just brand yourself with one when you're on camera at ESL or MLG, it's like that company, it's worth, 2, 4, 5,000 euro a month just to support one player alone. So well done him, good move.
Absolutely.
Does he have to keep up that presence though to be in a Premier League to keep this kind of deal though?
That's the thing.
Well, it depends. That might be the deal.
I mean, it
If you
depends
drop
on the
out of
contract,
Premier
right?
League,
Yeah.
we don't pay you as much. It depends what the deal is, but I wouldn't expect it to be that case.
Well, we have two other team changes real quick. Xenocider has actually joined EG, and there was a
I remember the banter you and
between
Oh, yeah.
PC and In Control
Yeah,
when that was
banter.
announced.
Well, I said, first off, I think Xenocider is a cool pickup. Just put that out there. I've
Get that out there
religiously
before,
followed the guy, but I've been aware of him, and I've thought he's been good for a while. So, but I tweeted out that I forget exactly what I said, but I basically said it's kind of bullshit that because this guy gets picked up by EG, he instantly gets featured. Like there are
featured on Team Liquid.
featured on Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Because there's probably 5 other young American players that are working their ass off trying to grind through Challenger League, and I feel basically it just comes down to I think the whole featuring process on Team Liquid is kind of flawed and unfair.
I mean, that EG got
but
In
then-
Control Flame. What,
But
In
yeah,
Control had a
and
conversation with
I
you
also
about
said
it.
it's part of the rich get richer problem, and so In Control kind of took that literally and was like, yeah, I'm sure he's swimming in a bunch of cash, man.
But that sounds like you taking a stab at Team Liquid, not.
Yeah, no, well, that's the whole thing. And
That's the point.
In Control is like, why are you attacking EG? And I was like, no, man, I'm actually attacking Team Liquid here, man.
No, man. Don't beat me.
But yeah, and I mean, the other side of the argument is like, well, all of a sudden people actually really want to watch this guy, whereas people don't want to watch all these Challenger League players, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, there's some truth to that. But I mean, I just feel like there's a lot of organizations in Starcraft that really need to do more to kind of help these shitty, high school kids actually become pro gamers if they want to, so...
That's true, there's been a lot of
Yeah,
people.
gotta show some love for the shitty high school kids.
Well, it's better than showing love to the shitty 25-year-old pro gamers who, require a lot more money and stuff like that.
But
So,
show love to 30-year-olds.
yes, James.
They need it the most.
But yeah, I think it's a good pickup. I mean, to me, for EG, I feel like what would make more sense is starting a little academy squad and picking up 3 players, because then it's like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? Like you have 3. And then hopefully 1 or 2 of them will be good. Because picking up one player like this and putting so much behind them is a pretty big gamble. And it worked fantastic when they picked up Suppy, right?
For example.
but it might not work so well here.
But
I don't
how
know.
did the
I mean,
academies of the other North American teams work out? Like Complexity had academy, right?
I mean,
And-
Ghost User came from there.
Yeah, I remember them actually.
It's
I was
funny.
in
Ghost
Arena,
User
wasn't
Ghost User was tweeting that he should have played in WCS Europe because he didn't actually get to play one North American player in WCS America, and he went through. Like he qualified, or no, maybe he was invited. I don't remember, but he played in Premier League and then he lost, and then he played all through Challenger League to try and requalify. I think he lost, and then he went to the groups in Challenger League and had 2 Koreans and Chinese guy in his group. So
All right.
yeah, other random thoughts.
And the last team change that we have here is that Vipro has actually joined Complexity. So you mentioned Complexity Academy. They've actually decided to pick up
It's
this
another player from Coronte, as Coronte Sports drowns heavily
Mm-hmm.
in their Starcraft 2 division, because I think Vipro's on Coronte
No,
before
I
that.
think they've completely. They didn't make any like super official announcement, but I think they'd sent us some tweets in Spanish, like their
Yeah.
StarCraft division is done.
Yeah.
Which
mean,
I mean,
Twitter might as well be official
Vipro's
these days,
is a
isn't
cool
it?
pickup for Complexity. It's interesting to see Complexity getting European player, blah blah blah. But
Vipro's really good too.
the
He's really good.
yeah, I've heard only good things. I haven't seen him play too much. But it kind of leads us into our next topic that K3 Coronte, why can I say it? Was actually removed from the Acer Team Story Cup after basically they said, okay, we're already playing, I think, with Zoc and someone else's Mercenaries, and then of course you lose Luceron and Vortex, and they're like, well, I think they were 6-2 or something in the season, so like they were probably 99% going to qualify for the LAN thing, and then they talked to one admin, and they're like, yeah, can we get 2 more players, stand-ins to come play for our team, and someone initially told them it was okay, and then they looked at it again, and I mean they were kind of like,
I think the
This
biggest
is-
thing about this is like, how do you feel as a team manager, team itself, and players that you've lost to Coronte in the earlier rounds who have now dropped out?
well, I think they have to go and annul all the results
you have
against Conte.
Same thing happened to
The Pandas, right? Yeah, you're-
all their start ladder games went
Yeah.
like
Okay.
even though they won a couple, they
Yeah, you just
won.
turn them all
Okay,
into
well,
losses.
We call it a couple to make them feel better.
So, yeah, I mean it's too bad there's communication problems. I don't know if you read the whole translation because there's a big Spanish post, I think, and it got translated on Team Liquid. But I mean,
didn't even know
basically,
about
I think
this.
it comes down to like it doesn't. I mean, having 5 random players compete under Coronte at the Acer Team Story Cup just doesn't make
Doesn't
sense.
really make sense, yeah.
All right.
And the last, excuse me, before last topic that we have here is actually DreamHack Summer. Is coming up this weekend. They've
There's something.
and DreamHack to broadcast StarCraft 2 LOL on SVT actually. So kind of
StarCraft 2.
the usual.
But
And
there's
stuff.
difference.
No, basically similar.
And we're getting to that.
Here we
Is
go,
that
guys. We're getting to it.
There's a dash. You stop at a dash. You take a pause.
Ah.
But you guys cut me off every time. So
One day I'll learn
we're not
to
getting
host.
to that. But StarCraft 2 Grand Finals will be on SVT1, which is the biggest channel in Sweden used to be SVT.
Well, you didn't respect that dash.
I didn't expect that dash.
It used to be on SVT.
It used to be on SVT2.
I thought it was like
It's now
on-
on SVT1.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
So that's like the main.
Yeah,
Now,
too.
is this actually the biggest channel in Sweden, or is it like?
You could get a TV thingy without subscription. That's the channel.
Yeah, but that usually doesn't make it the biggest. I mean, in Canada you get like CBC, but you get that
If
free.
everybody has it, by
But
default it's the biggest because everybody's access.
yeah, but it's also the nationally funded one that has all the
Yes.
crappy public
Yeah, of
television
course.
stuff
Yeah.
on it.
It
So
still doesn't matter. It's like-
It's better. They're moving up in the world.
yeah, no,
We
it
don't
is.
know
It
how
is.
big
It
it's
is
gonna
definitely
be,
better. But I was just trying to ask because I don't think trans. Like, do you watch much Swedish TV trans? So
It's-
you have no idea about the
But
program.
imagine all the grandmas and grandpas.
Yeah, I
On
know.
a Saturday night evening,
Gonna be looking at this handsome fella.
being horrified. That's the screen.
Hello, darling.
Can we make a alien, darling? I'm not sure about him.
I live in Stockholm and I'm on your TV.
Ina Backstrom will probably be hosting.
The problem is with StarCraft being on SVT. I'm not sure how it's been before, but StarCraft has a large variable
Yeah.
time length.
Well, this was
Did-
a controversial thing that happened with Stockholm, wasn't it? That it got chopped
Well,
off. in the end?
it's been for a lot of the tournaments. They've either started halfway through this series or map 2 in this series, or they've cut the end of the series off because they only have like a designated hour, 2 hours or whatever on TV, and whatever happens, it kind of just closes out. I don't know if it comes back to Ina Backstorm and be like, all right, now go to Twitch TV and
No,
watch
I
the
think
rest
I
of
think
it.
they have an SVT stream that keeps going, so it's not on TV anymore, but it's still on. They're like, all right, guys, go to this website at svtplay.se or whatever, and
okay.
you go there. But I think this time it had like a different. I think the top. Maybe it's the finals at 11 p.m. or something.
But it's the broadcast starts at 11 p.m. I don't know if the final.
So is that the round of 8 starts then?
No, probably not. Not 11. You crazy?
Well, that's what I was
Yeah,
wondering.
well, hold on. We
There's
haven't given the
there's
last line of the
There's
schedule.
so many people in chat that are actually Swedish and know exactly what's going on.
Oh,
But the
yeah,
only
we
comment I really see that's any worth is "fuck no, not back."
Okay, so and state sponsored TV is in North America. State sponsored TV is like
Nobody wants to.
yeah.
It's the
I
bottom
mean,
of the
aside
barrel,
from like
man.
the shit that like Carl Sagan
So
put
that's
out.
like BBC One, right?
Yeah.
Can we do a poll? Can we ask the Swedish audience if Backstrom's any good? How good is Ina at hosting? Because we don't know because we can't.
All right,
understand
put
her.
like a
She's
not Swedish
Yeah.
option as well in
Yeah.
chat.
Just be like
let's not
awesome,
let's not vote if
fine.
it's not like
sucks.
70% people saying not Swedish. Then
Because I don't know if she's any good. Like, but be honest, guys. I'm sure
Option, oh, not a Swedish.
just say not Swedish.
We'll send her the results via email. So
Maybe not.
good, average, not good, not Swedish, as in the audience isn't Swedish and they're voting for not being Swedish. I want to see because she's representing, man. She's got to represent esports to Sweden.
SVT.
Yeah.
Well, how do you bring esports to the 70-year-old demographic?
That's the thing.
This guy.
my grandson. That guy in his OGN outfit.
Yes, with my yellow tie
Yeah.
and blue flowers. Let's have a look at the vote.
All right, started.
Good.
Yeah, the not Swedes are winning pretty clearly here.
I'm not Swedish. I don't watch it. Bum, 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 bum.
It seems a tie between good and bad. There's no ugly.
She's very polarizing,
I
it
should
would
have had
seem.
an ugly there.
Oh, it's
Oh,
jumping
no,
out.
that's
No,
Do you really
the
wa-
bad and the ugly. I'm just saying, not saying she.
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
jump
No,
on-
I think that she would take offense to that, huh?
Hey, I'm referring to the movie, okay?
Of course.
Movie reference.
Clearly.
Average.
It's going to go
I mean,
over great
she's
in
pretty.
Sweden.
She's getting like across the board, like all three. So yeah, it's
Oh, average.
I mean, you're
might
going to kind of
overtake.
get that kind of mixed response. So,
well, like some people would definitely just get good. Some people would definitely just get
true.
bad.
True.
So that's actually pretty decent,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well done.
Probably means she's average.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
Put them together, yeah.
yeah. Average to bad.
Well done, Ina Backstorm. You passed the good studio
Average bad.
test.
Ina Backstrom.
I think people might just be voting and they don't know it, but they're not Swedish votes. Look at that. Not Swedish wins.
So it doesn't matter.
Ina is not Swedish. If anybody sees that, that's interesting.
Last bit of DreamHack news that we have actually is that Monchi is going to break all of our hearts and not attend because he's got an ear infection and he needs to get a emergency surgery.
It's not an ear infection.
ear
Or an infection. Actually, sorry, that's a little bit of a Freudian slip because I have an ear infection. Something.
This guy's like going in for multiple surgeries. And
But all right, so he
He's
has
got
an
an ear
infection.
infection.
He has an infection. He needs surgery. He's not going to be able to actually make the event.
Something to do. I remember
he was in a motorcycle crash
he was in
a long
motorcycle
time ago.
crash,
now, I
like
think.
2 years ago. That put him out of StarCraft 2.
infection. Yeah. Sorry, go
Put
ahead.
him out of StarCraft 2 for quite a while, and then he made a return halfway through last year and got up to like quarter-final in Valencia or Bucharest. I think it was Bucharest maybe, and was actually getting good again. And then
Well,
this
he got top
happens.
4 at DreamHack Summer. DreamHack
top
Winter. DreamHack. Yeah, top 4.
Winter.
Yeah, because he played in that PvP and got destroyed by Hero, remember?
Yeah.
Remember that? The most one-sided set of games of all time? These games are burned in my memory.
Forever.
Hope his ear infection gets better soon.
When I was a kid, you get that strawberry banana ear medicine.
I never had any infection.
Really?
Yeah.
You even lived until you had an ear
I never had
infection.
one either. I got clean ears.
Clean ears. Aye. The last bit of StarCraft news that we have here that's going to wrap up the section is that the Home Story qualifiers have concluded. And actually, the interesting part is that Home Story Cup has been awarded a Tier 2 WCS status. Now, this has been subject of hot debate. What do you need to actually get the status, the Tier 1, Tier 2? What makes the difference
I wonder
between
if
the
tournaments,
two?
it's going to be like passing laws. You got to hire like a team of lobbying staff to
Have somebody
lobby
at
Blizzard
Blizzard.
on your behalf.
All
We
right.
need
well,
WCS points.
as long as if the same thing doesn't happen, what happened last time when they were all drunk trying to figure out the rules, then it may pass.
So they're gonna put that in the client. Yeah, they're gonna embed.
You remember how
this?
funny that was? Carmack's like getting angry on Twitter because like he's never drunk and he's like, "What are you doing?" Takes like, "Yeah,"
Oh, this is-
and then Rotterdam's like, "Yeah."
You know, say Bling and the other guy.
Bling and Stefano like, doing their own thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Bling. I think he was
Bling
just
Price
some
is so
fancy
funny.
somewhere.
already.
It'd be so funny if like just the whole of Home Story Cup got pissed and they just we're getting WCS points. Fuck you, North America.
Fuck you, Korea. You don't have a tournament
Yeah.
either. We're getting drunk and getting WCS points.
Minimum drink buy-in to the tournament. Finally, we could take down the Koreans. Get them shit.
That's actually how Europeans and North Americans are going to get in BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Because there's more WCS tournaments
Just
in
invent
America.
Yeah.
WCS Tier 2 tournaments that are
You saw it
really
coming,
shitty
man.
and no one wants to attend. And just keep throwing them. Just get all the players, right? Get all the European players to go move into a house like Ministry of Win in Poland with Take and have Take organize constant WCS Tier 2 tournaments that don't have enough prize money to bring over the Koreans and have them every 2 days, right?
Until a foreigner arrives.
And then until you completely destroy everybody in the scene on WCS points. And then all the BlizzCon finalists will be from that house with Take.
Yeah.
It'll change the world.
BlizzCon finals might as well be.
That's
in
how Europe's
Take's
going to get
house.
into BlizzCon. It's amazing.
It is.
Solved it.
I'm looking at the player lineup that's actually going to be happening here
What's
at Home
some of
Story.
it, though?
Apparently, also there will actually be a Blizzard representative at Home Story Cup, making sure.
Rules are
Oh.
rules.
Making sure to get drunk or.
Making sure rules are rules.
With this guy, yeah, probably making sure they're all drunk.
Oh, is it him? Okay.
Who is HIM? There will be Blizzard's
Okay.
undercover
Somewhere
staff
in
at
there.
Home Story. You may not know who he is, but he'll be undercover.
It was your fault, Ina. It was your fault.
He'll be
no
the
matter what you
barman, keeping tabs. Be like,
That's one drink
Alright.
for Stefano, two drinks for Stefano.
say. Sorry, there's a 4-drink minimum here before you can sit down at your PC.
looking forward to.
Summer, how come
Home Story
SVT
Cup,
misspelled your name?
Because that's Ina.
Somla.
Ina did that?
Yeah.
Imla called you Somla.
Yeah. No. It gets better. It
I love
gets
how
better.
serious he
It
was.
gets better. It gets better because we did the interview, and I made it. Obviously it was very clear. Okay, this is my name and all that. They ask and they write it down and everything. And I'm like, okay, cool, it's fine. We do the interview, and then this happens. I'm just like, that's kind of fucked. Who was the journalist? Oh, Ina Bagstrom, right? So I ran into Ina and I was like, Ina, you fucked my name up in that. Whatever, old story. No problem. She's like, oh, it wasn't me. It was production. Production fucked it up. It wasn't me. And
Why
I'm
was
like,
it her fault?
Why was it her fault?
I don't think
Sam?
she's the
because
one
she's
behind
the journalist
overlay.
responsible for the content that she's putting out. You kind of make sure that
Did you
when you
write your
interview
name?
someone or you do something like this, you make sure their name is
Maybe
right. It's kind
you
of like the
made-
minimum thing that you should be looking
Maybe
for.
you made like an E that looked like an O. It's
Oh,
like you-
maybe
it
it
was
was your
it-
fault.
That could
got
be
to-
it.
Maybe it was
Could
your
be it.
fault.
So why were you
Don't-
attacking Ina so viciously?
Don't pin it on Ina.
Oh, I'm pinning it on Ina because it's
I think
her
Ina's
fault.
innocent.
I think she's really good at her job.
Free Ina.
Free
Free
Ina.
Ina.
Yes, please.
Hire Ina hashtag.
Free enough from her job, yes.
Aye. Ina, it is your fault. All right, we're gonna wrap up the Starcraft 2 section now. So thanks, Apollo, for staying up actually past your bedtime and keeping
Way
us
past
company
my
down here.
bedtime, considering jet lag.
Yeah,
Way past my bedtime.
How are you handling it? Going into DreamHack, you going to be okay?
Actually, I felt I had good and bad jet lag because I woke up at 7 a.m. but I went to bed at 2 a.m. last night, so I only slept 5 hours. But the good side is I woke up at 7 instead of like 6 p.m. or something. So I
hate
should be
waking
able to
up
sleep
at
good
6.
tonight, and I should be good for DreamHack.
All right. Well,
My voice is recovering really fast too. It's actually getting better and better every hour.
Good. You drinking that tea?
Yeah.
You got that honey? There you go, man.
I just imagine you keeping a diary on an hourly basis. Voice
Not bad.
as somewhat improvement.
Well, you should have seen me yesterday when I
An
got
hourly
picked, when he-
diary-
when he picked me
diary.
up from the train station. I get in the car, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
But I'll be ready. I'm pumped actually for DreamHack.
Yeah.
Life's coming. Did you know that?
Who?
Life?
Startale Life.
Sean,
You better hope
Really?
so.
Oh, is that not announced? And DreamHacker told you, but you didn't know, and now you've announced it.
Guys, I have been on a plane for a few
So I think this is called a Semler moment, isn't it? I'm actually watching it happen.
Reddit.
It's your fault.
Fire Apollo!
This is your fault.
Fire Apollo!
And it means you didn't warn me or anything.
I said, I was like,
Hellspawn sat at home writing this fucking cool ass document, getting all these pictures together. He's like, this is gonna be sick.
Just, man.
And then Apollo just, oh yeah, life's coming.
I've been on a plane. Nobody told me anything. I
told you something. I told you that, also with the player list hasn't been announced, but, a couple players have dropped out, but, to make up for that.
Oh, shit.
Apparently life is coming, so he may or may not be coming,
may or
guys.
may not be. If he doesn't come, you can blame it on me. I can't believe you didn't warn me.
I told you. I was like, it hasn't been announced.
You didn't say that.
I did.
Oh, you
This is
didn't
great.
say
All right, this
that.
is an actual news show. We have a leak live on the show. There you have it, everybody.
Alright.
You know that life is going to be
In
a
before
dream hack.
Caldor and Wolf cast.
I didn't. I love that Hellspawn gift.
You're done. You're fucking out.
Oh no! What have I done? I've pulled a Semler.
All right, guys.
Oh,
20 upvotes
We're
already.
going to take this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to attempt to save Apollo from any more suffering.
Just make sure you say he doesn't actually know if it's true or not, right?
but I
'Cause
don't.
You don't know it's
I
true.
actually. No one's. I just listened to Mike. That he.
I didn't say that to him.
Put it on Mike.
I made a comment that was off the record, and now it's being
I
fucking...
was listening to him. I trusted him. I was in a state of jet lag.
It's really annoying when, you say something to people like that you kind of expect it to be in confidence, and
amount of
they just go and
secrets-
blurt it
The
out.
amount of secrets that this brain has inside, and that's the one that slips. Thank God.
Oh, now I'm curious.
You ain't getting nothing else out of me, bitches.
This is what...
Judging from that look he just gave Mike.
Wait, what?
Oh God.
What? I was not listening.
All right. All right, everybody. That's it for the Starcraft this week. We're going to be back in a couple minutes with the Dota, so don't go anywhere.